Well, obviously we played a very good football team. The game plan going in was to try to not allow too many explosive plays, to try to stay on the field on offense and not give them many opportunities, and to play to the end. We told our guys that not to look up at the scoreboard and just play till the last play was played. I think the first two, obviously, we didn't accomplish. We gave up way too many explosive plays, and we didn't control the ball until the second half. You know, the first drive of the second half was how we wanted to play. We had the ball for 5 minutes. We put points up, and it didn't allow them to have a chance at the ball. But I tell you what we did do, and that was we played to the end. And I'll show you some tape if we ever have time. Guys, the score is 49-10, and our guys are hustling around doing the best they can do. So it doesn't feel good to not win. This is a business that it's either real high or real low. We're still struggling with it. We looked at the tapes, but I think we have things to build on. We learned a lot of lessons about not only our players but ourselves as coaches. It was our first shot at being together. So we just have to take the positives and move on. We played an awfully good football team. We need to give them all the credit in the world. They're so talented. You saw those receivers. I know them all very well. I spoke with Matt after the game, and you know, they all responded that we had played hard. So we need to build on the positives because we have a long way to go. We have a long season to go, and hopefully we won't play that type of team much for the rest of the year.
Questions? What were some of the areas, looking back at the game, because of USC's ability, talent overall, what were just some of the areas, if you were to pinpoint a couple, that they were just superior in, or that you know really?
Well, the speed factor. You could tell lining up the strength of the front people. You know, and the quarterback is a talented young guy now. He's liable to win the Heisman, or at least come close to winning, depending on the kind of season they have. They had great running backs. They had terrific tight ends. You know, the names are familiar to me because I was in the league when they were coming out of high school, and they're 5-star, 4-star guys, whatever. Schematically, I don't think they fool us. Special teams-wise, other than giving up the long touchdown, you know, they're the type of team that one guy made a mistake. One of our guys closed in too quick, and you make a mistake like that. When you play a good team like that, you'll pay, and then that's what happened. There was another instance of a play where a safety missed a blitz, and had we blitzed him, we'd have hit him right in the mouth. We'd have knocked Matt Barkley right in the teeth. Instead, they make a 15-yard play. So you know, that's the things that we have to learn as a football team to try to get better at. You know, offensive line-wise, we had a hard time protecting. We made a couple of bad protection errors. Our running backs missed a couple of blitzes, and it paid. I mean, Sean took a licking, but he stood up, and I think we found ourselves a quarterback, and we feel very good about Sean Schroeder.
That said, when you talk about how there aren't that many teams out there like USC, how accurate a reading on your team were you able to get from that game?
Well, I think like you say, you know, we played one of the best teams in the country. Now, are they the best? I don't know. You know, we will not seen Alabama and those fellows, but I think to measure up to USC, I think that's the lesson that we learned. And I think our guys understood that we could play. When we played, you know, at halftime I told them I want this. As far as we're concerned, it was 0-0. And you know, we played halfway decent in the second half. You know, had we not given up that long touchdown run and held them, and maybe the score would have been different. But you know, they're outstanding. You have to give them a lot of credit for what they do. That's what schools should be like. We have, you know, if we want to get to where we want to go, we have to emulate the USC's.
Go ahead.
What do you know about Lamar?
Not much. You know that they have a new coaching staff. We are looking for the film that this is you know, the fact that we don't play next week allows them to not give us the tapes till next week. So we're trying to find some things. We know they play in the odd front, which we can work on because our next couple 3 games are all against odd fronts. We know that they have a lot of talent. They get guys kind of like we do a little bit, maybe a couple bounce back guys. A guy from their stars from Oklahoma State. But right now, the emphasis is on us. Tomorrow we'll spend our time correcting the mistakes, and then we'll get going on Lamar on Wednesday. I do know they got beat this past weekend, but we have not seen tape. We're trying to get a hold of some television copies at least so we can get started.
You only played 38 players. Are you holding back some guys purposely, or was that?
Say that again?
You only played 38 players in the game. Are you holding back some guys?
We didn't do it by design. We just felt like we had a chance to try to win the game, and we were trying to try to win that game. We'll worry about that, as the time wears on. Second or third, fourth game of the season is when it's really critical as far as whether we're going to redshirt guys or not.
Can you elaborate on just having found a quarterback and what Sean Schroeder showed you? He was
a tough bugger now. He took a licking, and he got up, and he got up, and he got up, and he didn't complain about it. He just wanted to keep playing. He was jittery at the start. We missed a couple of formations that we should have gotten right. But he hadn't played since high school, and he's a college graduate when you think about it. But once he settled down, and I thought the second half, control the tempo of the game, all that kind of thing. I think he did a nice job with that. Made some nice throws. We were 43. Our goal every game is to be at least 40% on third downs. And that's not as easy as it sounds. We finished at 44, 43.8 or whatever, 44%, and it was him. He made a lot of nice throws. Even in that drive that scored a touchdown, there was a 3rd and 3 and a couple of 3rd and longs, and he threw the ball right in there, made the plays. So that tells you a lot about a quarterback.
Coach, it was evident that the guys never quit during the game. In the post-game press conferences, they were completely undaunted and unfazed. No hanging heads. They didn't look down on themselves. They didn't sound down. What was your take on the team after the game when you debriefed them and moving forward? Well,
I told them how proud I was of their effort. We knew it would take a tremendous effort, and we knew we had to have a couple of lucky bounces. It didn't happen. The explosions, their ability to explode with great plays, made it tough. Think about it, they did not grind the ball out against us. They were not able to do that. They don't have to do that. Time of possession-wise, we were 5 minutes more than they were, which is what we felt we had to do if we're going to have a chance at the game. They don't have to control the ball like that. They have such an ability to make those big plays. Robert Woods and Marquise Lee are tremendous players, and we should have covered them better. We should have, but we didn't. We should have probably taken the ball in the first part of the game too, instead of deferring. But that's easy to look back and say, all the coulda, shoulda, woulda kind of deal.
You talked about lessons learned not only for the players but for the coaches. What were some of those, you think?
Just our ability to kind of work together. We went out, for example, way too early to warm up, and we need a little better communications. I know on offense, I'm with the offensive guys. We need a little better communication to know the situations, if you will. It's hard to see from the sidelines. I thought Chris Demers did a terrific job. We communicated throughout on special teams, anticipating whether we should go for it or kick, that kind of thing. I thought Tom did a terrific job calling the defense. A couple of times he felt badly because I thought he had the right call on, but the kids didn't really execute it. I'm never going to blame the players, but I thought he had a nice game plan. Barkley got rid of the ball so quick, it was tough to blitz him, and little things like that. At the hotel, how we're going to get our kids more ready to play, that kind of stuff. I think I was as an assistant coach, I never worried about timeouts, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, hey, we got to call a timeout, and I say, wait, I got to call a timeout, so I needed help from those guys, and we felt good about that.
Even the challenge, that seemed like a new thing for you too, having to call the challenge, or?
Yeah, the challenges are overrated because they look at every one. They look at every call that is being made, and you need to wait. It's not like the NFL where you really have to challenge things. And the rate of return, when we met with the coaches, the officials in Las Vegas, the rate of return of calls that are overturned really are minimal. So yeah, that's a concern as well, no question about it.
Coach, after watching the game tape and have the coaches grade everything out, is there a list of players that you thought you got more than you expected from, and some guys who stepped up?
Oh, without question, without question. Our defensive front. We start Moses and Siasau, Matangiese Sau, we would call him, and Hano played awfully well. Kamlani Alo played awfully well. We made the change at corner after Tony was beat a couple times earlier. I thought Naquan did well. Leroy Lutu came in to play well. Offensively, we stuck with the same offensive line, and we thought we would have a chance to play a couple other guys, which we weren't able to do. We thought we could play a couple other running backs, we weren't able to do. I thought the receivers stood up pretty good. Stutzman and Harding played well. So, you know, overall, I thought we were okay, but we are going to have to look at making some changes because, you know, we're gonna keep it competitive. We're going to make it competitive so the guys know that they have to perform, you know, if they're going to get on the field.
Is it a benefit then to have this bye week to be able to look even further at possible changes?
Well, you know, I don't know the benefits of bye weeks. Minus, you know, over the years, historically, you make your most improvement from week 1 to week 2, and then not to have a chance to play week 2. But we're going to use it to our advantage. We're just going to keep working and prepare not only for Lamar, but take a day or two to prepare for the rest of the season. You know, we have Reno after that and BYU after that, but then really focus in on Lamar as the week wears on, and then have all next week to do that as well.
During the process of looking for a punter in training camp, I know you auditioned a bunch of people. What made you first choose him, and what made you think that would work?
Well, we need to find something, right?
Right.
And
that's kind of daring because
yeah, he's something, isn't he?
The
documentary may never come back with the way Scott played, but he did a nice job. You know, we knew we had to find something, and again, Chris did a terrific job of you know, we had some fakes called. You know, the one penalty we had, we still aggravated about that. You know, you watch the sidelines, and Lane is running down the sidelines trying to call timeout because he knew he was in trouble. And then you know, no play. The officials are running to spot the ball, and all of a sudden here comes the yellow flag, and you know, so Lane did a nice job of getting to them. And we're going to find out the rule. We're going to call in tomorrow to make sure we're trying to do the right things. And but Chris did a terrific job with special teams.
Well, who do you appeal to on that? Because it's not a.
Well, we're not going to appeal. We just want to find out the right rule. I mean, we can appeal all we want.
Oh, but who are you appealing to?
Well, we're just going to ask Ken Rivera, the head of our our officials, and he's going to tell us, yeah, you were right, or yeah, you were wrong. You know, big deal. Those guys go back to working in the bank, and you know, we have to go coach them up. But you know, we're not going to complain about that. We just want to know what the rule was that didn't allow us to get that first down, because I thought we did a heck of a job doing that.
I thought you got an interpretation in training camp.
Well, we asked the officials before the game. We told them we were going to do that. There was a possibility we'd do that, and they said, you know, it was okay, and then we obviously didn't do the right thing. So.
The adjustment for you being on the sideline and seeing the game that way, what was that like?
That was hard. It was really hard because I'm not used to that. But I had good help. Tommy was upstairs, and I think we had a fairly good feel for what Monty doesn't do much fancy stuff. Monty just does what he does so awfully well, and it's hard even though you know what they're in, what covers they're running. It's hard because they do such a nice job with it all.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you.